yesterday, the special prosecutor assigned to the Trayvon Martin case pressed charges against George Zimmerman. He was charged with second-degree murder, which, if he is convicted of, has a life sentence attached to it. So the only reason why he wasn't charged with first-degree murder is because it needs to be premeditated in order to be charged as first-degree murder. But in this case, everyone agrees that it was probably not premeditated. So second-degree murder is what he was charged with.
Yeah, no, that makes all the sense in the world. And it's the harshest charge he could have gotten, because nobody thinks that he knew Trayvon Martin, had planned to kill him that night and set this elaborate ruse up. No, nobody thinks that. So second-degree murder is, you know, if he gets it, appears to be some degree of justice. Him getting charged on that is, to our reading of the facts of the case, just from our perspective, we're not the prosecutors, obviously, appears to be correct. So I'm happy about that. And I think the most important part of this is vindication for the people who have been putting the spotlight on this case, because, you know, I think without that spotlight, there's no way in the world that Trayvon Martin's family would have gotten justice.
Absolutely. And speaking from a personal perspective, we've covered the Trayvon Martin story in great detail since it first broke. And I have to say, you know, you kind of get tired of covering that story day in and day out. But and there are understandably viewers who are also getting kind of tired of the story. But you got to keep in mind, this shooting happened in late February, okay? It is now April, almost mid-April, right? And he has finally been charged. The only reason why he's been charged is because the media picked up this story and brought it to the spotlight. So there are definitely things that the media does that I think are valuable. And in this case, him getting charged is a perfect example of that.
So let me just say one quick thing to pat ourselves on the back a little bit, right? So because, you know, it is true that we were among the very first to cover the story. We covered it before any of the mainstream cable networks did, et cetera, beat them by nearly a week. Now, it's not a matter of us winning or beating them or anything like that. It's just, I love it because I remember how outraged we were on that first day. And so often on this show, we're outraged and you get no result, right? And you get no justice. But in this case, it happened to catch on with others, et cetera. So we certainly couldn't have done it on our own. There's no way. We're just not, I mean, we're too strong and all, but we're not so large that the governor of Florida would have been like, oh, the Young Turks are outraged, special prosecutor, right? But when everybody then started to pick it, the story picked up momentum and everybody started covering it, all of a sudden we got a special prosecutor. Without the special prosecutor, he literally would not have been arrested. The cops had already said, we will not arrest him. We believe his self-defense case. Norm Wolfinger, apparently the lead investigator in the case, didn't agree with the head of the police and didn't agree with the prosecutor, and that was Norm Wolfinger. And the lead investigator told Wolfinger, I think Zimmerman should be arrested. I don't believe him. And Wolfinger says, no, I'm not going to do it. That guy got replaced because of all the pressure. So in some small way, we helped to get to justice. And that's just forget patting us on the back. It's an enormous relief.
It is an enormous relief because now you know that at least there's a chance for justice to be served. And in the beginning, we were unsure of whether or not that would happen. Now, Angela Corey, who is the special prosecutor in this case, gave a press conference yesterday. We have video of her talking about the charges. Let's watch.
Today, we filed an information charging George Zimmerman with murder in the second degree. A capias has been issued for his arrest. With the filing of that information and the issuance of a capias, he will have a right to appear in front of a magistrate in Seminole County within 24 hours of his arrest, and thus formal prosecution will begin. I will confirm that Mr. Zimmerman is indeed in custody.
Ms. Zimmerman,
I will not tell you where. That's for his safety as well as everyone else's.
Well, look, some concern was out there that he might be in the wind because his former attorneys had come out and said we lost contact with him, et cetera. The only person he was talking to was Fox News. And so I'm glad that he is in custody. Bond hearing is set for today. We'll see what results of that. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, they got him. So that's a terrific piece of news. Now, from here on out, of course, when it goes to the jury, we hope that everybody does their job, the prosecutors, the defense attorneys, and that then you leave it up to the jury to decide after hearing all of the facts. Because we've heard a lot of the facts, and that's what led us to believe there was no justice here. But we haven't heard all of the facts, but we will during the trial.